Yo, what up, people? It's your boy, Syfax, back at it again. I've never had white vans. Never will. Tried to do this video a few days ago on my birthday and kind of botched it. So this is take two. If you're here because of the video title, you want to hear me talk about that movie, I'm very heavy on not spoiling anything, whether it be synopsis, just any type of visual, hell, even who's in the movie. If you don't mind going to a theater by yourself, I cannot recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once anymore. Any higher, any bigger, any word that applies here. It's number one in Letterboxd right now in the top 250 with a 4.6 overall out of 5, which is so high. If we do some quick math, that's a 9.2 out of 10 average rating. Average. It's very good. It's a very good movie. It's the first movie I've ever seen by myself in a theater. And after it was done, I just watched the credits thinking, did I just watch the best movie I've ever seen in my life? And I never figured out the answer in that one. For the people who are subscribed and, are here because of me, which is 97% of you, I made a really emo, lame video called So I'm Turning 30, just over a year ago. Birthday is in April. I'm now 31. And the vibes in that video was very negative. It's talking about quitting YouTube and how it's over. I have pretty much done a full 180. Been living by myself for about 8 months now. I'm gaming nonstop, something that I haven't done in what feels like 3 years. And I'm finally back in the FPS genre. I've been playing a lot of Apex. It's very fun. I don't think I'll ever get to used to the BR environment where you can literally loot for over 10 minutes straight and 2/3 of the teams will be wiped and you still haven't fired your gun. That aspect is very boring, not a fan. Won a game last night where I think we had 4 kills combined between the 3 of us. There's 60 people. We got 4 kills and 1. That, not a fan of. Arena, big fan. Gunplay, big fan. Feels like Titanfall minus wall running and Titans. The abilities, I'm still getting used to them. I've been trying out a few characters. I don't want to spend money. I used my, Apex tokens, I think. I got Octane because he seems like a very strong, just solo queue arena character. Just take damage and you move faster. Speed in this game seems very important. So does shields, which is why I've been trying Gibraltar, aka Gibby. But it's been fun. I don't know how much I'm going to edit the footage I'm showing. And shoutouts to that Halo 3 clip at the beginning that I forgot to put in my stream highlight video a few days ago. I've tried to stream a few times in the past 2 weeks. And OBS, I don't know if my settings are just foobar, but when it's not loaded, my games run so smooth and well. And then the moment OBS comes on, they go to shit. A lot of stuttering, freezing, not like the game crashes, but just those sudden frame drops. Man, they fuck you up. How did we used to play Halo 3 at 30 frames per second with an Xbox 360 controller? Have you ever picked one of those up recently? I know Pat has. So, what do we got to talk about here? Feeling good. It's been a struggle getting content on YouTube because honestly I'm playing so much and I'm working. I rarely find the time to actually do all this shit again. I rarely want to take the time, I guess. Which is why instead of videos being like, you know, anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes, I've been doing like 1 hour compilations of 30 clips. But those have been fun. I've enjoyed those. Got another Tsushima one. Hopefully I'm going to start editing soon. And speaking of editing, have you guys noticed how disgusting the just new trend of how content is presented on social media these days? The amount of just cuts and like hyper ADD looking, just I can't focus for more than 3 seconds if there's no audio or cut vibes I'm getting. Pan and crops, zoom ins, cutting like dead air a second in between somebody's voice. I bet those motherfuckers would hate how the way I talk, cause I've done it like maybe a few times when I take 3 to 4 seconds in between thoughts. But I just watched a video a few minutes ago. This girl maybe took more than a second to finish her sentence, and I guess when they edited it, they didn't like it, and there was a cut in between the words, and it's just like, what the fuck? Did you really need to get rid of that 8/10 of a second right there? And it's just the hand motions are all drawing now because the motherfuckers are teleporting. Ugh, man. Everybody tries to be such a comedian. Just looks like 16-year-olds run the world when it comes to social media. That's probably true. But yeah, Apex has been fun. Don't mind the gameplay. Definitely learning. Kind of slowly, honestly. But I can still aim. That's all that matters to me. Very happy about that. I'm gonna splice in some of the older audio into here, so if I sound different, that is why. It's kind of a shame that I never got into like a recurring series talking about sports. I feel like it's really hard too, because you gotta be quick. Like a lot of my videos, you know, sometimes I'll record it and then a few days go by, week, a month later, still not on YouTube. If I'm talking about a video game, it's fine, but if I was to talk about the Nets getting swept, and then I post this, you know, third week in May, it's like, who gives a fuck? So that was probably my #1 issue with avoiding sports content. But damn, I cannot believe the Nets got swept like that. And I swear, Jason Tatum, every time I watch him play, he's the best player I've ever seen. He dogs the Wizards. He gave them 50 in the play-in last year. And he was outstanding this series. That dude is nuts. He was amazing for a few games. He had his moments in the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals. He dunked on LeBron and gave him that look. Should not have given him the look. In hindsight, I don't think he regrets it. He did dunk on the King, but oh, the King looked back. LeBronto, baby. Man, I still have an old MacBook recording of me watching back some of the Hope montages. My plan is to somehow I want to watch all of the Hopes again and then do a detailed Hope Infinity commentary, because somehow I've never reviewed Hope Infinity on YouTube. I think it's objectively the... Why do I always go with objectively? I need some cinnamons. Some what? Okay, we're moving on. It's the best video I've ever made, so I'd like to break it down and talk about some of the editing that troubles and things that I was figuring out and teaching myself on my old laptop on Vegas back in 2013 or 12. I want to say that montage came out in 2013 in April. It's a cool 9 years ago. 9-year anniversary, I'm sure, just passed.
a rampart? Disgusting.
One's in front of me.
Holy crap, I'm an idiot.
Not very good.
Need to recharge
Oh,
my
shit.
shields.
What
One's-
the heck? Devotion? They have a devotion? How did they afford a devotion? That's probably all they bought.
I got it. I got it.
Oh my god!
Let me get warmed up.
How much?
Little 3K. I've got kind of a sad story about a coworker of mine. Back in about 2015, maybe, we were at a kickball. We were having like a little kickball get together, I guess, part of like a company picnic. And this older lady who's probably in her early 70s, maybe late 60s at the time, she came up to bat or kick in this scenario, and I don't remember if she actually made decent contact when accelerated or if she hurt herself while trying to kick the ball, but I think she ended up like maybe not tearing an ACL, but she fucked her leg up enough to where she needed a boot or a cast or something afterwards. And right after the injury happened, remember she was crying. She was obviously in pain, but she didn't complain about the pain. She wasn't crying because of that. I remember she said, "I'm sad because I wanted to be a kid again, and I can't." And I don't remember how many people hear that, or heard that, or still remember that, but that shit hit me hard. That was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in the 3D realm of IRL. And, you know, I just turned 31. It's a terrifying thought. She wasn't sad because she hurt herself. She was sad because she couldn't be a kid again. She just wanted to have fun playing kickball. It reminded her of her childhood. And that's basically all of my, you know, complaints McGee takes on these new video games, like Battle Royales and shit. That it's not like how I remember my FPSs in 2008. So I don't like it. Now, I don't think it's that black and white. Everything has a gray area. I think some of my complaints, a lot of my complaints about certain games are validated, but you could definitely slap the old man yells at cloud label on me. And just the concept of not being able to go back and re-experience things, it's scary. And we have, see, this is when we're getting into the good stuff. We have so much evidence of this. I have been talking about this theory I have with like my dad and some other people, some friends. We as like a world, we're stuck in 2002. Now, not literally 2002, but just the idea of that it's 20 years ago and it's like that early 2000s CG was really coming into its own. The internet not quite booming, you know, YouTube's what, 2005? And you know, huge blockbuster franchises, comic book movies pretty much started. It's like Spider-Man saga. Late 90s and early 2000s had amazing action movies. And this era, I swear to God, everything, okay, not everything, a lot of things that are coming out today are either rehashes or catering to this goddamn time period, and it's all fucking nostalgia bait. I swear to God. hold on, let me get like a movie list, because this rant will be a lot better if I can actually look at some proof. I'll tell you what. Okay. So post-production Mike's FX kicked in. And I got a list. We're stuck in 2002. And this is my list to prove it. Before I start rattling off all of these names, not all of these are negative examples. Some of them are positive. And the vibe is that Hollywood and the people who greenlight these projects seem to be too scared to fund new IPs these days. That's basically the thesis. And you could probably argue that it has been like that for a very long time. But I am kind of not just noticing it, but it seems to be getting kind of out of control how popular remakes and reboots are. And I'm not talking about like, oh, another Fast and the Furious movie. They pump those things out like what, once every 2 or 3 years? I mean Matrix Resurrections coming out 20 years later, and it's terrible. So let me just turbo out these franchises, okay? There's a Hunger Games prequel coming out. There's a Chip and Dale reboot, Lord of the Rings TV show on Amazon Prime, Game of Thrones prequel spin-off, Spider-Man No Way Home, pure nostalgia bait, Matrix Resurrections, complete trash, Avatar 2 is finally coming out, the Jurassic Park sequel trilogy, the Jumanji sequels, Space Jam Legacy, even LeBron is a victim, another Top Gun is coming out 1,000 years later, Fantastic Beasts is complete trash compared to Harry Potter, Charlie's Angels got a remake, all of the live-action Disney remakes, another Ghostbusters trilogy, reboot, whatever you want to call it, Star Wars, holy shit. Batman has been rebooted 17 times in the past 30 years. Prison Break completely failed and tried to reboot a few years ago. Dexter had a, ninth season, I think, this past year. The Watchmen TV show that came out a few years ago was actually insane. Suicide Squad got remade instantly. Zack Snyder's Justice League needed to be... You know what? Those past two, they don't really count. We'll go over that. We'll skip over those. Twin Peaks: The Return was unbelievable, but it's a perfect example. The Craft Legacy, the RoboCop remake, Judge Dredd remake, The Thing remake, the Old Boy remake, the Psycho shot-for-shot complete trash can remake, Mortal Kombat came out again, Cowboy Bebop live action. I think Spielberg is doing a West Side Story. I think there's a Gremlins TV show coming out. I have Star Wars written down, I think, 3 times in this list. Obi-Wan Kenobi. The animated Grinch that came out a few years ago. I had to stop half an hour in. It was complete trash. Toy Story 3 and 4 came out like 15 to 20 years later. Fucking Kim Kardashian's sex tape is in the news again. Can you believe that? It was remade. Boruto is even a victim. We didn't need any of that. Naruto should have ended at episode 500 Shippuden. No more. Oz the Great and Powerful was complete trash about a decade ago. I Know What You Did Last Summer is getting a TV show. Scream has a TV show. Rings was terrible. All of the Alien sequels, Prometheus, and all of those are complete trash. Dumber and Dumberer, fucking Predators, Independence Day Resurgence, Total Recall, Tomb Raider. There's been 96 King Kongs. Jason Bourne 4 and 5 were trash. Evil Dead got remade. The Mummy with Tom Cruise is maybe the worst movie of all time. It's the worst movie trailer of all time, that's for sure. Jesus Christ. Poltergeist got a remake. Death Note had a live action adaptation, was complete trash. I think there's a Hancock 2 coming out. Power Rangers had to get remade again. X-Men went prequel into sequel into just who knows what's going on. I Am Legend 2 is coming out. Cloverfield Paradox is complete trash. All of the most recent Indiana Jones. The fucking Hobbits, perfect example. The Resident Evil video games. MCC. Final Fantasy VII Remake. The GTA complete trash remake that came out. Shadow of Colossus and Skyrim has been released 17 times. And, yeah. That's a lot of franchises. We're stuck in the past. Whether it be my coworker who wanted to be a kid again, or me complaining how Call of Duty will never be as good as Black Ops 2 again, or Halo won't be as good as peak Halo 3 again, or film executives funding all these movies that cater to 20 years ago. We're stuck in the past. We're still talking about LeBron versus Jordan. He's not even in the playoffs. Why is it so hard to move on and accept change in the future? Why does that go so against human nature? It's like actually really interesting to me. There's so much. Where's all this dust coming from? Is it? I have my window open all the time. I don't want to spend money on air conditioning. Is dust coming through the window and onto my desk? I don't know. I gotta clean up. It's kind of gross. It's kind of gross, dude. Shouts to Tiger. Man. What are some of the ones we actually need to talk about, though? I mean, Matrix Resurrections, Hunger Games prequel. I gave all of the Games movies a half a star out of 5. So it's safe to say I'm not a fan. Like the Craft Legacy? Why? I mean, I get the live action adaptations of anime, sure. But like more Ghostbusters? I'll give you the Grinch and King Kong constantly having new versions, that's fine. But an I Know What You Did Last Summer TV show? I'll give you Power Rangers and anything that's to do with superheroes. That's fine. But Prison Break and Dexter coming back? I tried Prison Break. Stopped after 3 episodes. Gotta try the new Dexter show though. Man. It's mind-blowing. And then you have Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is something I'd never heard of until early April. And it's all new ideas that could be compared to other films, but it's its own thing. And it's fucking amazing. Can we just stick to fucking amazing original things? Please? Both times I've recorded for this video, I've completely forgot about Overwatch 2. Beta started on my birthday. Didn't try to get in at all. Watched a decent amount. Quick summary and the thoughts. I don't know if it'll be better than like peak Overwatch, whether that be GOATS, even though a lot of people hated GOATS, or just like I don't know, like a classic dive or something. But it has to be better than whatever the fuck Overwatch is right now. Just the fact that Orisa does not have a shield makes the game better. They removed virtually all of the CC. No more crowd control. No more stunts. Sleep Dart is 15-second cooldown. Doom's Punch is a joke, but I guess it stuns you. And I guess Earth Shatter stuns you. Is that it? I still think it would have been very ballsy of them, but I would have 100% supported it if they did not bring back all of the characters. Bastion and Brig have no place in the game. Lore-wise, sure. Just write him off. You cannot make Bastion like viable. It's just the character sucks. And then the one time they had to emergency patch the game because of Ironclad. And Brig without a stun, I don't understand what her role is now. I'm looking forward to playing my go-to heroes and controller and PC. Winston, Zarya, and Moira. Hopefully I can kind of do some things on Zenyatta, but I'll end up getting picked on by Genjis. apparently Tracer's trash because they fucked with her guns in the at the end of the alpha, and she was like the best character in the alpha, according to the pros. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to going free to play with the multiplayer. I'm looking forward to the PvE. It looks fun. It looks like Soldier is gonna have the time of his life. He can go back to just his lone wolf style, high ground, roaming, properly timed healing fields, and poking, and finishing off supports with his helix, and you know, building all off of tanks. That's his role. Against any viable diva or 3 tank comp, the character is absolute dog shit in Overwatch 1. And now it looks like his game. Because it just kind of looks like an FPS, and there happens to be a big, gigantic character on either side. Where before it looked like a MOBA that was within an FPS. Does that sound right? I think that's right.